Yes, ma'am. अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अबाललोचनः शम्भुर्भगवान् बादरायणः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् इतिहासप्रदीपेन मोहावरणघातेन लोकगर्भगृहं कृत्स्नं यथावत् सम्प्रकाशितं निःसृण्यो ब्रह्मलोकस्य वाक्तेभ्यः कर्णकुण्डले धर्मद्रुममहामूले वाल्मीकिर्व्यासयोः कृति. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Adya. Let's begin. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see everybody's video slightly discreet. If I get disconnected, please let me know. There could be some problem with my internet. Okay. So today is the last session of this short series of Mahabharata. It is said, Shlokam vapi paten nityam tata shlokardhameva va padam vapi paten nityam nacha nirbharatam bhaved. This is one of the shlokas which comes at the beginning of the Mahabharata. Gauri, will you please send this later on the group? Slokam vapi paten nityam. I'll repeat it. Just listen to this. Shlokam vapi paten nityam tata shlokardhameva va padam vapi paten nityam nacha nirbharatam bhaved. Every day, all of us should put efforts to read at least one shloka of the Mahabharata. Shlokam vapi paten nityam. If you can't read one shloka also, tatha shlokardhameva va. At least read half a shloka of the Mahabharata. Padam vapi paten nityam. If you can't even, if you don't even have the time to read half a shloka, read one pada of a shloka, 1/4 of a shloka. Nacha nirbharatam bhaved. Let our lives not be devoid of Mahabharata. Every day, let us have the association with Mahabharata. Let us try to imbibe the principles of Mahabharata. That is what the shloka is trying to say. Yesterday, we had seen the story until the point where Karna is killed by Arjuna. Before Karna gets killed by Arjuna in the Karna Parva, Dushasana was already killed, was already defeated by Bhima, and the insides of Dushasana are torn open, and Bhima drinks the blood of Dushasana. So, another thing which happens even before Karna dies. All of you remember how Karna was killed? We had a discussion yesterday. Even before that happens, Dushasana is killed and his blood is drunk by Bhima. And according to some versions of the story, the original does not say this. According to certain versions of the story, Bhima takes the blood from the insides of Dushasana, which he hadn't tied from the day that Dushasana had put his hand on her tresses, on her long hair. From the day that Dushasana had touched those long hair, Draupadi had not even tied the hair. She had even not tied the jade. Right? So that Bhima goes and smears the blood. Thereafter, she starts tying up her hair. So her anyaya, whatever had happened to her, that has been totally avenged. So that is the idea here. Let's go ahead from here. Then, once Karna is killed, everybody starts wondering who should be the commander-in-chief next. Everybody suggests that Shalya can become the commander-in-chief. Krupacharya, Krutavarma, and Ashwatthama were the only three warriors, along with Shalya, who were left on the side of the Kauravas. All of you remember who Krupacharya is, right? And how is he related to Drona? Can somebody tell how is Krupa related to Drona? Yes, Vidushi.
He's Kripi's brother, and Kripi is married to Dronacharya.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So Krupacharya was alive, Krutavarma was alive, Ashwatthama was alive, Shalya was there, and Duryodhana was there. Duryodhana has lost all his brothers. He had lost Dushasana as well. He had lost Karna as well, his best friend. Or he said that Karna is his best friend all the while. Karna is also dead, but still Duryodhana has not given up his desire for the kingdom. Krupacharya, even at this instance, he advises Duryodhana to give it all this kind of desire. So much of death has happened. Let us all surrender to the Pandavas. then there will be peace in the kingdom. Let Pandavas rule. Let us all help them do this. Krupacharya advises Duryodhana right at the beginning of Shalya Parva, but still Duryodhana does not listen to it. All his brothers have lost their lives, but still Duryodhana wants to enjoy. Absolute sense of selfishness. I don't care if my best friends, my Guru Dronacharya has died. My grandfather Bhishma is almost dying. He's lying on a Sharishaya. He's lying on a bed of arrows. But still, I want to enjoy pleasure of the kingdom. My cousins are suffering. In spite of that, I want to enjoy the pleasure of the kingdom. My own best of my brothers, Dushasana, has been killed, who was like my executive mind. Still, I want to enjoy pleasures of the kingdom. So much of ego, so much of I-ness. If you compare this to Ramayana, at the point where Lakshmana faints because of one of the astras by Indrajit, Rama says that if my brother is gone, what is the use of the kingdom? What is the use of any other kind of pleasure? I too don't want any other kind of pleasure. That is what Rama says in the Ramayana. In fact, another point which I hadn't mentioned here is Yudhishthira had taken an oath. He had pledged that if even one of my brother dies in the battle, I'll also give up my life. So that was the kind of beautiful bond that existed between the Pandavas. That was the kind of the bond which existed between the brothers Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. But look at Duryodhana's attitude, being the oldest of the brothers. He's ready to sacrifice the life of his own younger brother for his own joy. Absolute selfishness. Krupacharya advises him not to do that, but still Duryodhana says that he'll continue with the war. Shalya is made the next commander-in-chief, and the war continues for half a day. Shalya is killed by Yudhishthira. Now, many of you might think Shalya had indirectly supported the Pandavas, but eventually Shalya also gets killed. Why is it so? What do you think, Rashmi? What do you think, Aditi? Was it okay to kill Shalya, who was their own uncle? He was the uncle of Nakula and Sahadeva.
Sir, even though he was their uncle, the fact that he joined the Adharmic people is um, enough to make him fit for being killed.
Exactly. Shalya, although he helped Pandavas in an indirect way by speaking ill of Karna while being his charioteer, and he tried to bring down the confidence of Karna, but still, while he fought on the side of the Kauravas, so many Pandavas lost their lives. And how did Shalya join the side of Kauravas? Does anybody recall the incident where Shalya changed his sides? Who will tell this? Yes, Namit.
Sir, when Shalya was going to join the Pandavas side, on the road, Duryodhana made large rest houses and delicious food for Shalya. So when Shalya asked who had done that, so Duryodhana is the one who appears and he says that he was the one who made all those beautiful and lavish rest houses for him. So flattering Shalya, he entices Shalya into joining this.
Yeah, exactly. So now you see, just because somebody has given you so much of luxury, you just change over your side without even thinking who is more dharmic and who is less dharmic. Somebody gives you so much of physical comfort and you change over. So that's not the bigger purpose, bigger aim of dharma at all. So that was also, Shalya was also killed by Yudhishthira. Shakuni is also eventually killed. Now, finally, at the end of the 18th day of the war, only Duryodhana, Ashwatthama, Krupacharya, and Krutavarma, only four of them were surviving on the side of the Kauravas. The entire Pandava army, the majority of them have still survived. Abhimanyu is the only one who has been treacherously killed by the Kauravas. But most of the Pandava army, especially the five Pandavas, are still intact. The major warriors are still intact. Unfortunately, Abhimanyu and Ghatotkacha are the two major warriors who have lost their lives on the side of the Pandavas. Here, on the side of the Kauravas, all the 100 brothers except Duryodhana, Karna, Drona, Bhishma, all of them are dead. Bhishma is almost dead, but he is not yet dead. He was lying on his bed of arrows waiting for Uttarayana. All of you know what is Uttarayana and what is Dakshinayana. Uttarayana is the 6 months period when sun moves towards the northern hemisphere. Okay. Uttara is north. Ayana means journey. Uttarayana. See, many of you might have heard the word Ramayana, right? Ramasya Ayanam. The journey of Rama is Ramayana. Similarly, Uttarayana means the journey of the sun towards the north. After Sankranti, the Uttarayana of the sun starts. So now we are in the 6 months period where the sun is moving towards the north. This period in which the sun moves towards the south is called the Dakshinayana. So it is considered that dying in the Uttarayana is more sacred than dying in the Dakshinayana. So Bhishma, because he had got Ichchavanada, he was still lying on his bed of arrows, waiting for the Uttarayana to come. Now only these 4 people are left. Krupacharya again advises Duryodhana, see, we have lost all the commanders in chief and only you and the 3 of us are left. Duryodhana says, no, I'll still fight the Pandavas. I want to avenge the death of all my brothers, etc. Duryodhana enters the Sarovara. He enters a lake. He has this vidya of Jalastambhana. He could control his breath while he was underwater. Does anybody know what was the name of the lake which Duryodhana entered, where he did the Jalastambhana? How many of you know? Okay, figure it out yourself. So, okay, Anisha, what is it?
Vaishampayana Sarovar.
Not Vaishampayana. Not Vaishampayana. Vaishampayana is something. Some references also say that it is Vaishampayana. Who knows what is the name of the Sarovara? Vaishampayana is set in many of the texts. Yes, of course.
The Dvaipayana?
Exactly. Dvaipayana was the Sarovara where he entered. Both the versions are there, but Dvaipayana is what the original text says. Also, there are other instances of the story which say that Duryodhana entered the Sarovara backwards. He walked backwards into the lake because if anybody looks at the footsteps, they'll think that somebody has walked out of the lake. But he walked backwards and he hid inside the lake. And outside, Ashwatthama, Krupacharya, Krutavarma, they come and say, why are you hiding here? You ruled the kingdom so well for such a long time, and it's not right on your part to hide within the lake, etc. And when the 3 of them were talking to Duryodhana, who was hidden within the lake, some hunters who were nearby, they overhear this conversation and they get to know that Duryodhana is hiding here. Pandavas were actually searching where Duryodhana has gone. These hunters immediately come and inform the Pandavas that Duryodhana is hiding within the lake. So the Pandavas arrived there. By that time, Krupacharya, Krutavarma, and Ashwatthama, they realize that the Pandavas are coming. So they get scared and they go away from there momentarily. Now the Pandavas come on this Dvaipayana Sarovara, they stand on the shores and they call out Duryodhana. Yudhishthira calls out Duryodhana, saying that you are so scared and you're hiding us from us because you're not able to face us alone. So many of us are still alive. So if you are really valorous, come and fight. Or else, why don't you surrender? Yudhishthira will be the king and we'll give you a good rule. All that Yudhishthira himself offers. But Duryodhana says, I still want to take revenge. I still want to be the king. I'm staying inside the Dvaipayana Sarovara only to take rest. So all of you Pandavas go and take rest and come back and we'll resume the fight. Yudhishthira says there is no question of resting. Now see the kind of claim that Yudhishthira makes. Duryodhana says that there are 5 of you, I'm alone, single-handed, I'm a lonely person. So Yudhishthira says, you can choose the weapon you want and you can choose the person you want among the 5 of us and fight with any one of us. So Duryodhana says, only the Gada, the mace is the best suited weapon for me. And he comes out and then Bhima comes forward to fight. This is when Krishna also was with him. Now, what do you think about this, Rashmi? Is this a good offer to make by Yudhishthira? Choose any one of us, choose the weapon you want and fight. How does this sound?
100% not an intelligent decision because Duryodhana is also a mighty warrior. So
Exactly. So if Duryodhana had chosen the mace and he had chosen Nakula or Sahadeva to fight with, in one stroke, Nakula and Sahadeva would have been killed. Okay. And what was Yudhishthira's pledge? That if any one of my brothers die, I will also die. So Yudhishthira will also commit suicide. Then Arjuna is also very much behind Yudhishthira. So all the principles of Yudhishthira, Arjuna also likes. Arjuna would also have left his life, given up his life. Bhima, how will he alone survive with all his brothers gone? Bhima would also have ended his life, probably, right? See, listening to this offer made by Yudhishthira, Krishna makes an important statement. Kimidam dyutamarabdam punareva yathapura. What is this, Yudhishthira? You have started gambling again. Kimidam dyutamarabdam punareva yatha pura. Even in the past, you gambled. Dyuta is gambling. You gambled in the past and lost all your wealth. You lost all your brothers. Everything you had lost. Now you seem to have started gambling once again at the cost of your own brothers' lives. Is that right? Kimidam dyutamarabdam punareva yatha pura. You are gambling again with this wicked, treacherous person. He'll have to be eliminated at the quickest instance. So that was Krishna's intention. However, Bhima comes forward to fight Duryodhana. Bhima also picks up his gada. Of course, there is a very valorous fight between Bhima and Duryodhana. For a very long time, neither Bhima or Duryodhana win. And so what happens? Who gives what idea now? So who can tell a very famous story? Yes, Dhatri.
Sir, Krishna will signal to Bhima while fighting and pats his thigh, remembering Bhima the vow he made while during the gambling that he will kill Duryodhana while hitting the thigh. And as Duryodhana was protected by his mother's boon, that he would be because of her like devotion to her husband, she had acquired the power and she gave him till his waist the power. So that's why Krishna reminds Bhima to hit
Yeah,
his thigh.
exactly. This is a popular story. Yes, very good, Dhatri. This is what all of us have heard. The original Mahabharata gives something slightly different. It's not Krishna who reminds Bhima, it is Arjuna who reminds Bhima. Arjuna points at the right thigh and also the left thigh of Duryodhana. He points to his own thigh and indicates to Bhima. See, this thigh also is an important thing because when Draupadi's Vastrapaharana was happening, when Draupadi's robes were being pulled, Duryodhana makes a very vulgar comment at Draupadi and he points to his thigh and says, Draupadi, come and sit on my thigh. So this is how Duryodhana treated his own sister-in-law. So Bhima wanted to take a revenge on that. And why were the thighs of Duryodhana the weakest parts of his body? There are multiple versions of the story. The original Mahabharata does not give any one of these stories, but a couple of versions which I know, which is in the folklore, very popular. I'll just tell it quickly. I know that many of you have heard this. Two versions. According to one version, uh, Gandhari was smearing the entire body of Duryodhana when he was a young boy to make him invincible. But then either his own sister Dushala or Krishna in the disguise of Duryodhana's sister Dushala comes there. So Duryodhana's lower body is still covered. So that part of the body was not smeared with oil. So rest of the body parts of Duryodhana were very strong. They were like very, very strong iron. Another story is what who Datri or Nitya Datri said, right? So because of the Pativriti of Gandhari, she had got very powerful eyesight. So with her eyesight, she could make the entire body of Duryodhana invincible. So she opened her eyes once she opened her blindfold. But at the same time, either Dushala came or Krishna himself in the disguise of Dushala came there. So therefore, uh, Duryodhana was still wearing his lower garment. So though that part of the body did not become invincible. So these two stories are there. But the original does not say any of these. The thighs were the weak points of Duryodhana. Once while fighting, Duryodhana jumps into the air. That is when Bhima hits both the thighs of Duryodhana and breaks his thighs. Okay. So then Duryodhana falls down with his thighs broken there on the battlefield. There in the battlefield, just imagine this, the entire Kaurava army is dead except for Ashwatthama, Krupacharya, and Krutavarma. Everybody is dead. In so much of dead bodies, there were vultures eating up the dead bodies. There were foxes, there were dogs and wolves, all of them feasting upon these dead bodies, even when Duryodhana was alive. All these animals started attacking him. Ratnodara Chatussamudra Rashanam Bhuktva Bhuvam Kauravo Bhagnorav Patita Sanish Parijano Jivan Vrukair Bhakshitaha. So this is the concluding shloka that all of you have been reciting at the end of the class. So this is the very instance that has been indicated there. Ratnodara Chatussamudra Rashanam Bhuktva Bhuvam Kauravo. So, Rashmi, after the class, please send the shloka with the meaning, summarize it in your own words and send it on the group. Ratnodara Chatus Samudra Rashanam. What is this earth? What was the kind of bhumi, or what was the land space that Duryodhana was ruling for such a long time? Ratnodara Chatus Samudra Rashanam. The earth is surrounded by 4 oceans. And what is the ocean called? Ratnagarbha. It is called because there are so many gems and so many great objects and so many precious objects at the depths of the ocean. So this person who ruled the entire earth and the oceans which have got gems within them, Ratnodara, that where abundance of gems are found. Chatus Samudra Rashanam. The 4 oceans become the Rashana, that means the girdle of the earth. Bhuktva Bhuvam Kauravo. Having enjoyed all the pleasures of the earth, Bhagnuruf Patitaha. Uru means the thigh. Bhagna Uruhu. Broken thigh. Patitaha. Nishparijanaha. None of us people are alive now. He has fallen there with his thigh broken. See, when he was the king, there were so many people to take care of him. Even a small wound, if he has, people would rush at him. Now he has fallen there in the battlefield with his thigh broken. There is nobody to care for him. Jeevan, he's still alive. Vrukair Bhakshitaha. Even while he's alive, wolves and foxes are feasting upon him. They have considered him as a dead body. Just imagine this. You have fallen down somewhere with your legs broken. Crows, eagles, vultures, foxes, wolves, all of them are coming and pecking upon your body. How painful it would be, right? So that was the state that Duryodhana was reduced to. He was alive, but he was treated like a dead body by all these beings. Okay, I'll come back to this concluding shloka again. So in this state, Duryodhana has fallen. Bhima wanted to finish him off, but Krishna advises him, let us not do that. They go and meet Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. Before going from there, Krishna advises to Pandavas that let us shift our camp from here today. Let us go and stay on the banks of the river Ogravati. They put a smaller camp there. In the bigger camp, the other Upa Pandavas, Drishtadyumna, all of them were still there. So now, when Duryodhana has fallen there with his thigh broken, Ashwatthama, Krupacharya, Krutavarma, all the 3 of them come there and they ask Duryodhana, what now? What next? Duryodhana, even at that stage, he had not given up his desire. He coronates or he appoints Ashwatthama as the commander-in-chief. Ashwatthama there declares, my father, Drona, has been killed by Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna, who was the very student of Drona, he killed my father. So I want to take a revenge on the Panchalas and the Pandavas. Mainly he stresses upon taking revenge on the Panchalas. See, Ashwatthama never realizes the mistake that he is doing. He never realizes the mistake that his, whomever he had taken an ashraya, refuge with, Duryodhana, the kind of mistakes that Duryodhana is doing, none of that he realizes. He makes up his mind that he wants to take revenge on them. All of them, Ashwatthama, Krupacharya and Krutavarma, they retire to their camps. Only 3 of them are left. At night, Ashwatthama observes one thing. There was a nest full of crows. An owl comes. There are small baby crows there are crows which have not yet hatched from their eggs, and there are older crows. An owl comes and starts pecking upon the young ones. It starts killing all the young ones, one owl, at night when the crows were sleeping. It comes and pecks and kills all the younger ones and all the older ones. Looking at this, Ashwatthama gets the idea. He learns a lesson from nature. So I can also go and kill these sleeping warriors. So that is where the Sauptika Parva begins, the next Parva of the Mahabharata after Shalya Parva. The Upapandavas were sleeping. Drishtadyumna was sleeping. Ashwatthama convinces Krupacharya and Krutavarma that they will go and attack the camps of these people. So Ashwatthama enters the camp against the advice of Krupacharya. Everywhere Krupacharya tries to advise Ashwatthama, he tries to advise Duryodhana. But look at this. Drona and Krupa, they are advising these people, but they are not changing over the sides and coming to the side of the Pandavas. They are just giving words of advice, right? So Krupacharya advises Ashwatthama against it, but Ashwatthama still wants to do that. So he goes there and he enters the camp and he asks Krupacharya and Krutavarma to wait at the entrance of the camp. And he goes inside, he kicks awake Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna wakes up, he has got no ammunition, he has got no weapons in his hands. And Ashwatthama massacres Drishtadyumna. He puts the camps on fire. The Upapandavas, the 5 children of Draupadi, all of them at the same time they are killed. See, now just look at this. The next generation of the Pandavas, everything is gone. Abhimanyu is dead. Ghatotkacha is dead. The Upapandavas are dead. Just think about the state of mind of these fathers and mothers. Because of their cousins, their wretched cousins, the Pandavas have lost their young ones. So for whose sake should they have the kingdom now? Right? But there was one ray of hope. What was the ray of hope for the Pandavas? There was a possibility of next generation. So what was that? Yes, Adarsh.
Barbarica.
Barbarika, this story does not come in the original. Barbarika was the son of Ghatotkacha who also dies. This does not come. Yes, Vidushi.
Sir, Abhimanyu's child.
Abhimanyu's wife, Uttara, she was carrying when Abhimanyu died. So that was the only ray of hope for the Pandavas. Arjuna's son's wife is carrying. So Arjuna may have a grandson soon. So that grandson can be made the king of the kingdom. So of the entire kingdom. So that was their hope. Anyway, so all this happens, the Upapandavas are killed. Even before um, even before the Pandavas landed up in their new camp on the Okavati river, they would all have come in a chariot. The chariot, as soon as the Pandavas get out from there, the chariot itself catches fire and it gets destroyed. Arjuna is shocked and he asks Krishna, "What is this, Krishna? Why did my chariot catch fire?" So Krishna says, your chariot would have gotten destroyed on the first or the second day of the war itself because of the onslaught of the arrows of Bhishma and Drona. Your chariot would have gotten broken into pieces. But then, because I was there, because of me, I am the Paramatma, because of me, your chariot was still intact. Now it has done its duty, it has finished its responsibility, so it has caught fire. So the next day morning, Draupadi gets the news that Ashwatthama has killed her brother, older brother Drishtadyumna, and the 5 Upapandavas. Who can recall the name of the Upapandavas? We are on the last day of the course. How many of you remember the names of the 5 Upapandavas? Yes, Dhatri.
Prativindhya, Somasuta, Shrutakarma, Chatanika, Shrutasena.
Shrutasena, Shatanika.
Okay, very good. Just imagine what should be the state of Draupadi's mind. Her older brother and her 5 children are killed on the same day. Yudhamanyu and several other people belonging to the Yadava clan and the Drupada, the Panchala clan, all of them were killed on the same day. A very, very painful state. Draupadi says that she knows that Ashwatthama has a gem on the top of his head. By birth, he had got this money on the top of his head. So Draupadi says that he was in great pain. All the next generation has gone. 5 sons I'm losing at the same time. Draupadi was in great pain. And she says, I want that gem from the head of Ashwatthama. He has to be killed and the gem has to be brought. So Bhima says that's impossible. Krishna also says that's impossible. Ashwatthama was heading towards Vyasa Maharshi's ashrama on the banks of the river Ganga. ಮಾಡೋ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡೋದು. So this was the kind of attitude of Ashwatthama. So Ashwatthama was almost going there. Bhima chases after him. Krishna and Arjuna also go there and they catch hold of Ashwatthama. But Ashwatthama had got one of the most powerful astras, which was called Brahmashiras. Brahmashirastra was what Ashwatthama had got. So Ashwatthama, as soon as he sees that all these Pandavas are approaching along with Krishna, he fires the Brahmashiras astra. Arjuna immediately, upon the advice of Krishna, he responds with another astra. But when this great battle was happening, it was almost, if the two arrows had met, it would have been like a nuclear explosion, like what happened in Japan. Right? The entire country would have gotten destroyed. So Narada and Vyasa Maharshi, they come there. They intervene and they stop. They ask Arjuna to withdraw the the answer that Arjuna had given through Aindrastra to Brahmashirastra. So that Arjuna withdraws. But Ashwatthama says, once fired, he cannot withdraw the arrow. So that arrow goes and attacks Uttara Kumari's Garbha, the child which was in the womb of Uttara Kumari, Uttara, that gets killed because of the Brahmashira Astra. See, by killing that child which was not yet born, Ashwatthama almost tried to eradicate the Bharata Vamsha. See, he is Guru Putra. The Guru was so selfish. The Guru Dronacharya came to teach the Pandavas and the Kauravas only to take revenge on his childhood friend Drupada. And now look at what Ashwatthama has done. What is the achievement of Ashwatthama? He killed sleeping warriors, no warriors who were awake. He killed a child which was not yet born. ಇನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟದೇ ಇರೋ ಮಗುನ ಸಾಯಿಸೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ even before something is born, you are trying to kill it. Right? So this was the achievement of Ashwatthama. But thanks to Krishna's grace, that child was brought back into life and it got the name. What was the name of that child? Born to Uttara Kumari and Abhimanyu. Yes.
Sir, Parikshita.
Parikshit.
Yeah. Parikshit. Parikshit was the name of the child because it was tested by the strongest of the weapons. But thanks to Bhagavan Sri Krishna's grace, that child survived. So it was tested. The greatest test was given to it, but still it survived. Now, who was Parikshit's son? Yes. Okay, this I'm not told any time. Yeah, I've never remembered.
Janamejaya.
Janamejaya, to whom the entire story of Mahabharata is being told. I hope all of you remember what we had said in the beginning. Right? Okay. Now the baby is safeguarded by Krishna. And Krishna curses Ashwatthama saying that for 3,000 years you will suffer like a worm. You will be a Chiranjeevi, but see, Chiranjeevitva is not a happy state at all times. You will be a Chiranjeevi, but for 3,000 years you will continue to suffer. So you'll have a long life of suffering. So this was the curse which was given by Krishna. So many people think that Ashwatthama was a great warrior. That is why he was made a Chiranjeevi. Absolutely not. Chiranjeevitva was a curse in Ashwatthama. See, many times, many of you might have observed that if you go and do a namaskara for an older person, they will tell that you should be a Chiranjeevi, live long, etc. The same kind of thing was told by Krishna to Ashwatthama also, but not to live happily, but to suffer forever because of the kind of genocide that he had done, or the infanticide that he had done. Genocide, a massive massacre when warriors were sleeping. See, when a warrior does not have a weapon to reply, you're not even supposed to attack. Forget about when the people are sleeping. See, this is exactly what was done to our country when the Islamic forces invaded. This was exactly what was done when the British invaded. Many of these rulers were very treacherous, just like what Ashwatthama did, just like what Kamsa did, just like what Ravana did. Within our country, also there were these treacherous people. The people who invaded the country, they were also very treacherous. So this is the kind of asuri pravritti that we see in many of them. Okay. Anyway, so Ashwatthama is cursed that way. Kritavarma goes back to Dwaraka because he belonged to that place. Krupacharya is still with the Pandavas. Now, the Pandavas come and meet Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. By then, Gandhari and Dhritarashtra would have heard that all their children had died. So they rush to that place to see all the people who have died. So this is where the Sri Parva begins. All the women rush to the chariot of Dhritarashtra. They have lost their husbands, they have lost their brothers, they have lost their sons, they have lost their fathers. Only small children and women were left in the kingdom. See, this is exactly what happened after the First World War and the Second World War. Just read the reports, even if a simple Wikipedia article you see, people from the age of 12 were recruited in certain countries in Europe to go and fight the war. All the boys from the age of 12 until the age of 80, they were recruited. Some women were also recruited. So after the war, there was hardly anybody left in these countries. That's exactly what had happened after the war of Kurukshetra. So when Dhritarashtra is coming out, all the women rush and fall at him and say that because of you, because of your son, all of us have almost lost our lives, and all our people have lost their lives, etc. They start telling. Dhritarashtra is also overcome with pain. Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Krishna, Yudhishthira, all of them go to meet Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is in great pain. He says he wants to embrace Krishna. So what happens then? Embrace Bhima, not Krishna. So what happens then? What was Dhritarashtra's intention? Yes, Ahiri.
Dhritarashtra wanted to hug Bhima, that's why he called Bhima to come. But Krishna then created an idol of a statue of Bhima and placed it in front of Dhritarashtra. And when Dhritarashtra embraced the statue broke into pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Krishna did not create the statue, but Duryodhana, while he was alive, he had made a statue of Bhima and was constantly fighting with the statue of Bhima. So much Duryodhana hated Bhima that he always had that enemy in mind. Okay, so Dhritarashtra wanted to hug Bhima, and just with a tight hug, Bhima would be shattered into pieces. So Krishna knew this. So that particular vigraha, that particular statue, which Duryodhana was constantly fighting with, so that is pushed in this place, and that shatters to pieces, and Dhritarashtra's chest is wounded by because of that. Now, once Dhritarashtra also has not learned a lesson, Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha, filled with jealousy. Dhritarashtra Amanishi, Moolam Raja Dhritarashtra Amanishi. The father should have at least learnt a lesson now. He has lost all his children, grandchildren, everything because of his own misdeeds. But even now he wants to kill Bhima. So that envious attitude, that evil attitude, Dhritarashtra had not yet given up. He probably now learns a lesson. Eventually, Yudhishthira is coronated as the king. Bhima is coronated as the Yuvaraja. When Yudhishthira is the king, Bhima is coronated as the prince, as the crown prince. Arjuna becomes the king of the foreign affairs. And then Nakula and Sahadeva are given different responsibilities. The Sanjaya and Vidura also becomes advisors of this entire kingdom. Then they realize that Bhishma is still alive on the banks of the river Ogavati. He is still lying there. Krishna advises Yudhishthira, this grandfather, Bhishma, is still alive. He is a repository of great knowledge. So before he passes away, he is almost like the setting sun. Before he passes away, you should go and learn everything from him. Yudhishthira, Krishna, Arjuna, Bhima, all of them rush there. Bhishma gives a long advice and how not to be, etc. to Yudhishthira. So that is what is the Shanti Parva and the Anushasana Parva. Two biggest parvas of the Mahabharata are the Shanti Parva and the Anushasana Parva. These were the advice given by Bhishma to Yudhishthira. See, Bhishma is also a theory master. Yudhishthira is also a theory master. No practical application at all in most of the cases. Almost 30,000 or 40,000 shlokas of Shanti Parva and Anushasana Parva. Nobody does Patana. 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So many of us know it by heart. Why did Bhagavad Gita get such great value? Because Krishna lived the life which he preached. Whatever Krishna preaches in the Bhagavad Gita, he had already lived that life. He had lived a very dharmic life, a very dispassionate life, a very responsible life, the life of an Atmajnani. So therefore, the 700 words became Bhagavad Gita. It was the voice of the divine, the words of the divine. But a theory master who was always on the side of the Kauravas, now on his deathbed, he gives so much of advice to Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira also, who just by theory, he justified all his wrong actions. So that one theory master giving it to another theory master. So that is the huge Shanti Parva and Anushasana Parva. As a part of the Shanti Parva, we also come across this Vishnu Sahasranama. All of you know the Vishnu Sahasranama. This comes in the Shanti Parva of the Mahabharata. There is also Shiva Sahasranama, which comes in the Shanti Parva of the Mahabharata. Both of these come in the Shanti Parva. At the end of the Anushasana Parva, we see that Bhishma gives up his body. Then all the Tarpana is given, and Ganga herself comes and takes back Bhishma to her own abode. So usually in the Indian tradition, when a person passes away, just before the person passes away, it's important to give them Ganga water. Because Ganga is said to be Triloka Pavani. She will take you to Svargaloka with her. See, in Bhuloka, she flows as Bhagirathi. In Akasha, she flows as Vyad Ganga. And in Patal Loka, she flows as Vaitarani. Right? So, in all the three worlds, Triloka Pavani, in all the three worlds, Ganga flows. So, based on your Papa and Punya, she takes you to one of the lokas. Mandakini, Vyad Ganga, it is said. In the Akasha, in the Svargaloka, she flows as Mandakini. In the Bhuloka, as Bhagirathi and Ganga. And in the Patala Loka, as Vaitarani. Okay. All of you, please revise these videos for the quizzes on in the weekend. I have given so much of information, packed information, in the last 3 or 4 classes. Okay. So, Ganga herself comes and takes away Bhishma. We are left with a little bit of the story now. Next, Yudhishthira performs Ashwamedhika Parva. He performs Ashwamedha Yaga, so that becomes the Ashwamedhika Parva. Duryodhana would have died by then. Yudhishthira himself offers Tarpana to all his dead relatives, including Karna. Dhritarashtra also offers Tarpana. Tarpana means the Shraddha. Shraddha or Titi, the funeral rites. All of them are performed. Yudhishthira performs Ashwamedha Yaga. Ashwamedha Yaga is where a horse is let free to roam around the different kingdoms. So the people belonging to all these different kingdoms, if they accept the superiority of this king who is performing the Ashwamedha Yaga, they will leave a free passage through their kingdom. If they don't accept the superiority of this kingdom, they'll stop the horse. In Manalurupura, somebody was there. She was the wife of somebody. Who was this in Manalurupura? I have mentioned this previously in one of the classes. Yes, Adya.
Sir, Chitrangada.
Who was Chitrangada?
Sir, the wife
Yes,
of
yes.
Arjuna.
Exactly. Who was her son?
Babruvahana.
Babruvahana. Babruvahana was the son of
Sir.
Arjuna and Chitrangada. She was staying in
Sir.
Manalurupura. Yes.
I have a
Let me
doubt,
complete.
sir.
We'll have doubts on Monday. All the doubts will be taken on Monday. The popular versions of the story say Babruvahana stopped the horse of Ashwamedha, but Babruvahana actually did not stop. But Arjuna comes there and Rupi advises him to stop the horse, etc. So there's a battle between Babruvahana and Arjuna. Because Arjuna had forgotten Krishna, Arjuna temporarily dies there. He loses his consciousness. The Sanjeevani Mani is brought and Arjuna is brought him back to life. Arjuna gets defeated in a warfare with his own son. Okay. Now, after that, the Ashwamedha Parva happens. The Ashwamedha Yaga happens. Arjuna comes back. And all the smaller kingdoms are united under one dharmic rule by Yudhishthira. The older people in the kingdom, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, Vidura, and Sanjaya, they decide that they will go to Vanaprastha. They will retire to ashramas. So that is what is the Ashrama Vasika Parva. They decide that, okay, now the children are taking care of the kingdom. We'll all retire to the ashrama. So all of them go to the ashrama against the wishes of Yudhishthira. Now, do you see something here? Kunti sacrificed so much for her children. When her children have actually come to throne now, she does not even stay back to enjoy there. Kunti leads them all. Kunti goes ahead. Gandhari holds her hand. Dhritarashtra holds Gandhari's hand. And Vidura and Sanjaya follow from behind. This way, the four of them, along with Sanjaya, they retire to the forest. The welfare of her sons, Kunti was never able to see. They grew up in the Himalayan mountains, in the Shatashunga Parvata. They came to Hastinapura only to be cheated by their own cousins. They stayed in Ekachakra Nagara, etc. Then they came back, the Pandavas came back. Again, they lost their kingdom and went to forest. Kunti was staying like an orphan in Vidura's house. Now they have gained back the kingdom, and Kunti cannot even enjoy the pleasures of the kingdom. She feels that it is her duty to take care of the blind couple, Gandhari and Dhritarashtra. Look at the dharma prajna of Kunti. My husband's older brother is Dhritarashtra, so it's my duty to take care of him. So Kunti, because Dhritarashtra is blind and Gandhari is also blind, Kunti wants to take care of them. All of them retire to the forest. Once, Kunti had told her son Yudhishthira that Karna is the older one. So Yudhishthira himself performs the Shraddha to Karna as well. All of your questions, whether it is in chat or live, you can keep it until Monday. I'll have a separate session on doubt clearance on Monday. Okay. So now Kunti retires with the other three of them along with Sanjaya. Once Pandavas come to the forest, to the ashrama to visit them, they see that all the three old people are going to a river to fetch water. They feel very pained. They belong to the Bharata Vamsha. They belong to the Kuru Vamsha. They were supposed to enjoy the comforts of the kingdom, but now they are reduced to this state. Yudhishthira starts wondering where Vidura is gone. Then he gets to know that Vidura is performing tapas. Nirjala Upavasa he has started. Yudhishthira goes to see Vidura. Vidura was about to give up his life. Yudhishthira stares at Vidura's eyes, and the entire prana shakti of Vidura comes out from his eyes and enters Yudhishthira's body. So the entire shakti, entire chaitanya of Vidura, that comes to Yudhishthira. And all of these people come back, and after some time, they get to know that Kunti, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Sanjaya, all of them died in a forest fire. See, the fire is a very good, very important motif in the Mahabharata. There are so many instances of fire. Amba sacrifices her life by falling into fire. Draupadi was born out of fire. Dhritarjumna was born out of fire. The Laksha Gruha, the house was put on fire, right? And there was this Pandava Dahana, which I did not cover, where the forest catches fire. Then the camp of the Upa Pandavas, that is put on fire by Ashwatthama. Now, at the end of the story, these live people, they were not even dead. Kunti, Dhritarashtra, and Gandhari, they die alive with the alive trees. The trees were also living. These people were also living. All of them catch fire and die. See, usually how is cremation done? Dead logs of wood, they are brought and a dead person is cremated. Here, the people are alive and the trees are also alive. They die together. Along with the forest, these people also die. In the meantime, what would have happened is, back at Dwaraka, Krishna's son, Samba, had poked fun at Kanva, Narada, and Vishwamitra who had come. So Krishna's son, Samba, had taken the Vesha of a woman. They wanted to poke fun at Rishis. See, Krishna's own children did not learn dharmic values from him. Samba the one who had married Lakshmana Kumari, he had taken the Vesha, the disguise of a lady, and as though a pregnant lady, they go and question these rishis. Will the child born to this person be male or female? The rishis get very angry and they curse Samba, saying that you will give birth to a pestle. Pestle is an iron rod, an iron object. What is called onake in Kannada, onakai in Tamil. You will give birth to a onake. With that, all you Yadavas will fight with each other and kill each other. So now, as soon as actually Samba gives birth to that onake, as soon as that is born, the Yadava king Vasudeva, he shatters it into pieces and throws it into the ocean. Let there not be any fight between the Yadavas. With that intention, he throws it into the ocean, but ocean throws it back onto the shores and they start growing as reeds on the shore of the ocean. All of you, if you have been to any seashore, you might see certain weeds growing there. These weeds comprised of the iron particles that had come out from Samba's womb. And other point was that Gandhari had given a shapa to Krishna. She had cursed Krishna, saying that because of you, my children died, and your children will also die in front of your eyes. Gandhari had looked at Yudhishthira's feet, and with just her eyes, Yudhishthira's nails and toes had gotten burnt. That was the power of Gandhari's Shapa. But Gandhari did not realize that her children died because of her fault and their own fault. Krishna tells this to Gandhari. Gandhari, you were jealous of Kunti. Therefore, the Kauravas were always jealous of the Pandavas. Krishna says this. But then he says it is inevitable. My own children, Yadavas, are like this. So one day, lot of Bhuta Pretas, they start appearing in Dwarka. Everybody gets scared and the Yadavas start moving from Dwarka to what is called the Prabhasa Kshetra. Does anybody know in which state of India the Prabhasa Kshetra is located? I recently was there. I went to the Prabhasa Kshetra. Yes, Dhatri.
Gujarat.
Gujarat.
Yeah, it's in Gujarat. So from Dwarka, they come to Prabhasa Kshetra. There, one Yadava starts teasing the other Yadava, Krutavarma, Satyaki, Pradyumna. All of them start teasing each other. All of them fight each other, and all of them die. Krishna also participates there. They all get drunk, and all of them kill each other. Krishna also kills his children because they were very, very adharmic. Such people should not exist at all. He rushes back to Dwarka and tells his father Vasudeva, take care of Dwarka, all our offsprings have died. Before he comes back, Balarama, the older brother of Krishna, he was swallowed by a huge white serpent which came out from the ocean. He was swallowed by that. That white serpent was none other than Adishesha. Adishesha came and took away Balarama. Then Krishna was fed up of all this. He was resting behind a tree and his leg was stretched out. And a hunter called Jara itself means old age. He comes and he looks from a distance and he thinks that is the foot of a Krishna Sara Mruga, a black buck. He shoots an arrow at Krishna's feet, and with that, Krishna also dies. Bhagavan Sri Krishna also dies. Arjuna rushes from Hastinapura to there to take care of the women and the old people. He starts transporting them, he starts transporting them to the safety of Hastinapura, and the entire city of Dwarka starts getting eaten up by water. So he starts going away from with all the women, the old people, and everybody who was remaining there. Krishna's great-grandson called Vajra was still alive. With that small child, he starts moving towards Hastinapura. But on the path, dacoits or highway robbers, they start attacking all these women. So much of richness, so much of wealth is there, they start snatching away. See, if a good king is not there, if the king's offsprings are adharmic, this is what happens. There were highway robbers, they started snatching away. Arjuna tries to defeat them and he tries to string his Gandiva Dhanush. He has gotten old. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is no longer alive. He was not even able to string Gopair Vishwajayi Jitasya Vijayaha Kakshaiksita Vrishnayaha. That is the third line of the concluding shloka. Gopaihi Vishwajayi Jitasya Vijayaha. Vijaya was another name for Arjuna. Arjuna, who had defeated the greatest of the enemies, he gets defeated by some cheap robbers, by all these abhiras, Gopaihi, all these people belonging to cowherd community. See, Krishna was a great cowherd. He was Gopalaka. He was such a dharmic one. After the death of Krishna, these cowherds had started looting people. So those people also, Arjuna was not able to protect his own cousin's family. He was not able to protect Krishna as his cousin. Gopaihi Vishwajayi Jitaha Sa Vijayaha. All these dacoits, all these gundas, they won over Arjuna. But somehow with the remaining army, Arjuna came back to the capital city. Kakshayikshita Vrishnayaha. Vrishnayaha are a reference to the Yadavas. How did the Yadavas die? In the Prabhasa Kshetra, they picked up the weeds. What was the weed? That was the iron particles from the pestle. They fought against each other and killed each other. Jitasya Vijayaha Kakshayikshita Vrishnayaha. Okay, anyway, Arjuna comes back. He coronates Krishna's great-grandson Arjuna, Vajra, as the king of Indraprastha. Their own grandson was Parikshit, who was the king of Hastinapura. Just listen to this. Krishna's great-grandson Vajra becomes the king of Indraprastha. Arjuna's grandson Parikshit becomes the king of Hastinapura. Having done this, the Pandavas decide to go on Svargarohana. They want to retire. All the next generation is settled. They do a pradakshina of India. They go to Dwaraka and all the other places. They start climbing up the Himalayan mountains. A dog follows them. One after the other, people start falling down. First, Draupadi falls, and everybody is stunned. Why did Draupadi fall? Everybody asks. Bhima asks. So Yudhishthira says Draupadi was extra fond of Arjuna, so therefore she fell down. Then after that, Nakula and Sahadeva falls. So why did Sahadeva fall? They were raising up to the Svargalokpa. They were climbing up the Himalayan mountains. Sahadeva falls. Why did he fall? When Bhima asks, Yudhishthira says he fell because he thought that he was the most genius. He was the most intelligent among them. Then Nakula falls. Bhima asks, why did Nakula fall? Yudhishthira says because Nakula thought he was the most handsome person. Therefore he fell. Then Arjuna falls down. Bhima asks why Arjuna fell down. Yudhishthira says Arjuna was super confident. He had superiority conflicts. Therefore, he cannot come to Svargaloka. Then Bhima also falls. When Bhima is falling, he asks, why am I falling? So Yudhishthira says, you were a glutton. You were eating you were eating a lot. You were very arrogant about your physical strength. Therefore, you are falling. Yudhishthira, alone with a dog, he goes to Svargaloka. Just look at this. What was the promise done by Yudhishthira? He had said that even if one of my brothers die, I will die. But now he is okay to go to Svargaloka all alone. All his brothers and his wife have fallen down. He is okay to go to Svargaloka all alone. There he goes to Svargaloka and sees that Duryodhana is already sitting in Svargaloka even before he comes. And Yudhishthira was shocked looking at this. I have been so dharmic, but how is Duryodhana sitting here? Then Yudhishthira says that I want to be in the place where Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhima, Draupadi are. Then he is taken to the Narakaloka where he hears the painful cries of his brothers and his wife, etc. Then he understands his own father, Yamadharma, comes and he says, we have given you a temporary Naraka Darshana for the small mistake that you did. You lied that Ashwatthama hataha kunjaraha. You became a part of that tactic. You became a part of that scheme. Therefore, you got Naraka Darshana. For the little papa that you had done, all of you, all the Pandavas, along with Draupadi, you got the Naraka Darshana. But however, Duryodhana, for the small punya that he had done, he got the Swarga Darshana. Now Duryodhana is going to Naraka. All of you are going to enjoy in the Swargaloka. So all of them come back to the Swargaloka and Duryodhana is sent to Naraka. Then finally, Yudhishthira understands from his own father, Yamadharma, what is Dharma, how to be, and what were the mistakes that he did. All these things he realizes, and there, with this Vargarohana Parva, the Mahabharata concludes. So back on earth, Vajra was ruling from Indraprastha, and Parikshit was ruling from Hastinapura. After Parikshit's time, Janamejaya continues to rule from Hastinapura. That is when Vyasa's student Vaishampayana comes there and narrates the entire story of the Mahabharata to Janamejaya. This story is heard by Ugrashava Sauti. He goes and narrates the story in Naimisharanya to Shaunaka and the other sages for 12 years. So that is the story of the Mahabharata that we heard. Ratnodara Chitussamudra Rashanam Bhuktva Kauravo Bhagnoruf Patitas Nishparijano Jeevan Vrukair Bhakshitaha Gopair Vishwajayi Jitassa Vijayaha Kakshaiksita Vushkayaha Tasmat Sarvamidam Vicharya Suchiram Shantyai Mano Diyatam. What is the one thing that we take away from the Mahabharata? The most wicked person, Duryodhana, who was so selfish. While he was alive, nobody came to his help when he was dying. With his thighs broken, he was being eaten up by foxes and wolves and eagles and vultures. He was feasted upon. The greatest of the warriors, Arjuna, was defeated by dacoits. Yadavas, who were the son of Krishna, they fought against themselves and died. Paramatma's children themselves became adharmic. Right? So, what is the advice for all of us from the Mahabharata? To give our eyes, to have drishti towards dharma. What is dharma? I have a drishti towards that. And shantyai mano diyatam. Ensure that you are at peace. Ensure that you spread peace around your own self. Don't do the mistakes that Duryodhana did. Don't make the mistakes that Dhritarashtra did. Don't make the mistakes that Yudhishthira did. Always give your mind to dharma. Always give your mind to shanti. Always understand the greatness of Paramatma. The Bhagavad Gita is the crux of the Mahabharata. The best essence of the Mahabharata is in Bhagavad Gita, and the entire Mahabharata is almost like a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Right? The Mahabharata is a practical commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. I've given a lecture on the same platform on how the Bhagavad Gita principles can be seen in Mahabharata itself, where the Daiva Pravritti, Asuri Pravritti, etc. can be seen. So this is how the Mahabharata concludes. The good people finally go to Svargaloka, the bad people finally go to Narakaloka, and the Dharmic king, who is Parikshit, and his son Janamejaya, they continue to rule the Bharata Desha. Our country gets the name Bharata because of this Bharata Vamsha, the greatest of the Vamshas, one of the most dharmic of the Vamshas, which continue to rule from there. I started today's class by saying, Shlokam vapi paten nityam tata shlokardhameva va padam vapi paten nityam nacha nirbharatam bhavet. All of us, let us make an effort to study the Mahabharata every day. One chapter of the Mahabharata, one chapter of the essential Mahabharata, or of Amar Chitrakatha, or Rajaji's Mahabharata. Read at least a few pages. Every day read it. Try to contemplate upon it. Every day try to read the Bhagavad Gita. Recite a few chapters of the Bhagavad Gita or a few slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. The same platform, there are classes on the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita also, which are conducted by Guru Guru Shivaswami Guru Guru, and also by Hari Ravi Kumar and by Koti Sri Krishna sir, who is also here in the audience. So please, all of us, from the youngest ones who are here and to the oldest ones who are here, constantly engaging with the epics makes it a staircase to heaven. Nishrenyo Brahma Lokasya Vagdevyah Karna Kundale Dharma Druma Mahamule Valmiki Vyasayoh Kruti. Ramayana and Mahabharata are staircases to heaven. They'll help us become better human beings. They'll help us gain Chitta Shuddhi. They purify our minds. They tell us how to be and how not to be. They'll educate us in dharmic values. And they can give us this Jivan Mukti. They can give us that eternal Ananda. With this, I'll conclude today's session. Thanks a lot for everyone for being such fantastic, attentive audience. The children have participated extremely well. I hope the older people were also equally attentive. I was amazed by how quickly the children would grasp and tell very sharp answers and such insightful answers. It has been a very great experience for me sharing the basic story of Mahabharata with you all. In the future, we have planned sessions on different Puranas, the Ramayana as well. We are planning a session on the Mahabharata for the older people exclusively, for people who are above the age of 16 or so. The sessions are not over. We are going to have a session on Monday as well. And there is going to be a feedback form which will be circulated online to all of you. We would request all of you to fill up the feedback form. There are going to be revision quizzes. There are going to be quizzes based on each one of the sessions that you have seen today. Please try them all out. We are so glad that Ramanujam ji has been organizing these quizzes with the help of Shalini ji and Vivek ji and so many other people. All of you, especially the children, have participated really well. Every quiz, nearly 100 people have participated and attempted it. Very glad to see this participation. On Monday, we are going to have a live quiz as well. The instructions for which Ramanujam ji will quickly give us now. Shilpa Bhagini, if you allow, Ramanujam ji will want to, if he is here, quickly tell us how the live quiz on Monday is going to be.
Hello.
Maybe you can make him the co-host, Bhagini, Shilpa Bhagini, Ramanujam ji. So feedback form, the quizzes to be done this weekend. There is going to be a live quiz on Monday. We are going to start at 8 o'clock. There'll be a live quiz. And the results of all the quizzes that have taken place, we'll tell them on Monday. And if there are any questions connected with the entire Mahabharata, whatever we have covered, I'll be happy to answer within my capacity on Monday. Yes, Ramanujam ji.
Yeah, namaste. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. So very quickly, there will be a quiz that will be a set
I'm not able
of,
to hear. Is everyone able to hear Ramanujam ji?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll
Please
speak
go
a bit
ahead.
louder.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we will have a quiz. This will be a summary of all the quizzes. There will be maybe 15 to 20 questions. The format is the same as what you have seen so far, except that each of the question will have some time, maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds. You have to answer within that. So let's say if there are 15 questions, each question has 20 seconds. You have to choose within that. Otherwise, automatically you will move to the next question. So this is like a test. So at the end of this quiz, we will see how fast and how well you have scored. And based on that, we will have winners. So after the Monday session, we will declare both the winners of the Monday's quiz as well as all the quizzes of the individual lessons. Now, except Wednesday, Thursday, and today, all other quizzes are already there on the course page. We will have the last 3 quizzes also by this weekend in the course page. So before Monday itself, please try and complete all the quizzes. Before the session starts on Monday, we will finalize who are the good scorers of the individual sessions. And Monday's quiz will be another set of winners. Now, on the Monday's quiz, the only thing you have to do is log into the course page with your ID. Yeah, because this will be timed, and this quiz, like usual, can only be taken by people who have logged in. You will already be in the session, so you may not have another screen. If you want, you can log in through the mobile phone. We will also try and see if you can show the link on the Zoom screen itself, but it would be better if you take your parents' phone, if you don't have one, and then along with the session, you can also try that on Monday. Yeah. So any doubts right now? I mean, there'll be nothing different compared to the quizzes you are taking, except that each question has a limit. maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds. That you will know when you start the quiz. If there are any doubts, I will answer now.
Sir, can we take the quiz while in class?
Yes, it will be during the class itself.
Ah.
Which part of the class, that Arjunji will decide. But like this, when this session is on, I'll put up a link. You can see it through the mobile phone. So just keep a phone with you to try the quiz.
Sir, no, like while I attend the class in mobile only, so what should I do if I want to attend in one device? Can I attend in one device only?
Yeah, if it is possible, you can. You have to just change the window and do it. So if you can manage that, it's no problem. Some people may get confused, putting off the Zoom, minimizing, etc. So for those people, you can try in the phone. Otherwise, if you can use it in the laptop or one device, no problem.
Okay.
Sir, in India quiz, I am not getting the green mark.
You're not getting the green mark after you complete the quiz, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so don't worry. There is a separate button that you will see on the top right. You have to click that to get the green mark. But don't worry, even if you don't get the green mark, if you try the quiz, all the results are already stored. So whether you get the green mark or not, the results are very safely stored.
Sir, this quiz will be during the class only, right?
Yes, during the class. And whether it is in the beginning, middle, or end, that Arjunji will decide.
Okay, thanks.
We'll have it in the beginning of the class, G. See, all of you, please don't get confused. There are quizzes based on each one of these sessions, which all of you please answer by the weekend. Okay. And also there are revision quizzes. In addition to that, Monday, when we have the class at 8 o'clock, the first few minutes of the class itself will be the quiz, the live quiz, the timed quiz, which Ramanujamji is speaking about. Every other quiz which are on the Indiyatra website connected to this course, it would be good if all of you can finish it off by Sunday night. So that by Monday, we'll be ready with the results of who has performed or what is everyone's performance. And it will also help me understand which were the difficult questions which many of you have got wrong. That's also a good thing for me. I'll try to clarify those points on Monday as well. Okay. Is that okay, Ramanujamji and everybody else? Yeah, Shilpa Bhagini.
Sir, is it in Kahoot or in Indiyatra only?
Sorry, it is which one?
The live quiz will be in Indiyatra or Kahoot only?
It will
Sorry,
not
what
be
is
Kahoot. Kahoot is another app that you can do quizzes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it will not be in that. It will be in the Indiyatra website itself. So you have to log in, like Ramanujamji said, you have to log in into Indiyatra, and then you will be able to take the quiz.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. If there are any more questions regarding the quizzes, maybe we'll take it offline if anybody has specific questions.
Sir,
Okay. We'll just hear the concluding prayer one last time for today. Aditi, please, will you render both? I think somebody else had volunteered. We'll give them a chance maybe on Monday. By the way, all of you, please stay on the WhatsApp group. We are going to have many more courses regularly. They'll be on Ramayana. There'll be a more detailed course on the Mahabharata. Maybe we can do stories from the Mahabharata, which we have not covered this time. See, we did not cover the story of Yayati. We did not cover the story of Nala and Damayanti. So many stories we have not covered. So we'll have courses on all that in the future as well. So all of you, please remain on the group, and there'll be a lot of interesting stuff which are coming up. Yes, Aditi. Please recite the two concluding prayers. And then if Shilpa Bhagini has any announcements to make, she'll.
रत्नोदारचतुस्समुद्ररशनां भुक्त्वा भुवं कौरवो भग्नोरुः पतितः स निष्परिजनो जीवन् वृकैर्भक्षितः गोपैर्विश्वजयी जितः स विजयः कक्षैः क्षिता वृष्णयः तस्मात् सर्वमिदं विचार्य सुचिरं शान्त्यै मनोदीयताम् वेदपारायणदफला गङ्गादितीर्थस्नानफल कृच्छ्रादितपसिन फलवु ज्योतिष्ठोमयागफಲ ಮೇದಿನಿಯನೊಲಿದು ಇತ್ತ ಫಲ ವಸ್ತ್ರಾದಿ ಕನ್ಯಾದಾನ ಫಲಬಹುದು ಆಧರಿಸಿ ಭಾರತದೊಳು ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷರವ ಕೇಳ್ದರಿಗೆ
Just to summarize, very beautifully rendered by Aditi. Thanks a lot. This is how my grandmother used to sing the Gamuka. My mother had sent a recording. She's also here in the audience. So I had sent that recording to all these children. They have picked it up very well. This is from Kumaravyasa Bharata. It's a very nice continuation of tradition. In fact, the Gamuka tradition itself. Bharatadolu vandu aksharava keldarige. Even if you hear to one letter of Mahabharata, see the word akshara also means something which does not have depth. If you listen to one such value, one such maulya which is immortal, then Veda Parayana Phala, studying all the Vedas, whatever phala you will get, whatever fruits you will get, that you will get by just listening to one akshara. Mediniyano Oliditta Pada. If you, how would it be if you were a very dharmic king ruling the entire earth? The kind of fruits that you will get by ruling the earth in a dharmic manner, that you will get by going through the Mahabharata. Gangadi Tirtha Snana Pala. Many of you might have gone to the Kumbh Mela, some of you might not have gotten to go there, but going through the Mahabharata is like taking a dip in all the Tirtha Kshetras, drinking the Tirtha Jala of all the Kshetras, and that is the divine Mahabharata. We are all privileged, we are all blessed to be born in this land of Bharata, where the Mahabharata also took its birth. So the Tirtha Snanapala, Medini and Olidittapada, all these, all the Ganapalas, everything you will get by just going through one Akshara of Mahabharata. Let us all devote our lives to the Mahabharata. The more we studying, the different layers of meanings the epic itself is going to reveal to us. With this, I'll leave for today, and we'll meet again on Monday. More announcements I will do on the group, but if Shilpa Bhagini has something to share, she'll continue to.
Thank you so much, Arjun Mahodaya. All right. One quick announcement is I sent a message on the group as well, but I have been receiving a lot of questions from everybody saying, what is a good amount to send as Guru Dakshina? So, like I mentioned earlier in the group also, there is no fixed amount. This is Yatha Shakti. This is Guru Dakshina that we are offering to Arjunji for the knowledge that he has shared with us, for taking time out from his extremely busy schedule and dedicating 3 weeks for us. You know, this 1 hour he has put aside for us, putting away all his travel and other things so that he can be here to help us understand the Mahabharata. So, it is each person's own, desire and capability to do the Guru Dakshina. There is no fixed amount. So we will not be able to tell you what is a good amount or what anybody else has sent in. We won't share that information either. We are doing this so that this knowledge stays with us. So that this is our way of gratitude. This is our way of saying thanks to Arjunji. So I just wanted to share that one thing with all of you. Other than that, we will see you all on Monday. Monday is going to be the last class. But like Arjun sir told, do not forget, once this class is over, do not put everything aside and say, okay, we are done with Mahabharata now. Like he told all of us, we need to go back and read the book, read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Mahabharata, one shloka 1 or 2 shlokas a day, 1 or 2 chapters a day. We need to keep ourselves updated. Let us all make a promise today saying that this is what we will do going forward. I know school is starting for most of you very soon, but still you will be able to take out half an hour in a day, 20 minutes in a day to revise on what we have learned. Let us not forget the knowledge we have gained now in these past 15 days. Let us continue and try to refresh on that and learn more. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you, everybody. Shubharatri to folks joining from India and Shubhadina for folks from the